Good morning, everyone. My name is Markus, Gilles. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Klima. Climate change is, as I think everybody that sits here knows, the biggest threat that humanity has ever faced. It is also the defining experience for our entire generation. Everybody needs to come to terms with the question, what is my role in all of this? We know that millions of individuals want to take action, but simply don't know how right now. They're missing the right tools to do so easily and effectively. That makes individual climate action still one of the biggest untapped levers that we have in the fight against global warming. Klima is here to unleash that potential and bring it to scale. We're doing this by making individual climate action radically easy, radically effective, but also lovable, inspiring, rewarding. Klima is built around 3 very simple steps that together build one powerful impact loop. First, offset your emissions immediately. Second, reduce your carbon footprint sustainably. And third, multiply your impact through community. Let's jump into the product and show how that works in detail. You come into Klima, you download the app, and you calculate your carbon footprint. Within 2 minutes, you get to a result where you have a really good download on what your big emission drivers are in your personal life. You can compare yourself to others as well and get a good assessment of where you stand. We immediately allow you to take action as well via a monthly offset subscription. That means you can now choose to contribute to climate projects around the world that take out the same emissions or reduce the same emissions elsewhere on your behalf. The emission price is obviously based on your individual carbon footprint, but for an average European, it's around about 10 euros per month. I just want to highlight also that we're working with the highest quality standards for carbon offsetting worldwide, which is the gold standard and the verified carbon standard, and we have quite a meticulous process in reviewing and onboarding these projects as well. And then within a total sign-up period of around 3 minutes, you have taken one very important first step towards a climate-healthy lifestyle, which is you're not taking care of your emissions. You're cleaning up after yourself, if you will. And I think that is something that everybody can essentially do today. But we, of course, need to go a little bit further, because cleaning up your mess is one thing. Ultimately, we want to create less mess to begin with, and that means also reducing our personal emissions at source. We all know that we are collectively, as a global society now, on a timeline towards decarbonizing our societies, and there's an individual component as well, and we help users decarbonize their personal lives as well. This starts by diving deeper into your personal emission factors and really understand what is the most impactful thing that I can do. Based on the data input that you give us, we can give you smart recommendations and help you make smart decisions about footprint reducing steps. For many people, that is still changing to a green energy provider, because it literally just means picking up the phone or going to a website and just sign up. But it entails other things as well, revisiting the way that you travel, the way that you commute, the way that you diet, etc., etc. We are here to help you figure out what's most impactful and to help you take the next step that is the most easiest for you, and then we're already on a journey together. All of this includes a highly engaging user experience, including learning and helping users to become climate smart. It includes community challenges, let's say a 30-day vegan challenge or a bike-to-work week that you can do with the community to try out certain lifestyle changes and decide if you want to commit to them. The moment somebody commits, your offset subscription automatically gets reduced by the amount of emissions that you save via lifestyle changes. And obviously, we have gamified experiences built in as well, so we celebrate you every step of the way. So we make sure that every achievement that you reach via the app gets logged and gets documented. And we could stop here, because there's already a holistic experience. Reduce and offset, a very powerful combination that we'll hear a lot about and have already heard during these 2 days. But we didn't want to stop there. We asked ourselves, how can a user now 10x the impact with Klima out of the app? And that's what we call the multiply effect. You sign up with Klima, you take one footprint off the planet. That's your 1x. Now, the most powerful thing that everybody who wants to do more can do is advocacy. If you invite a friend that then in turn joins the carbon neutrality movement, there's 2 footprints taken off the planet because of you. That's your personal 2x. your 3x, your 4x. And we can actually showcase that effect of your advocacy via invite codes that we give out. And then we celebrate with you that effect that you start creating by influencing others. And we don't only stop with the friends that you invite, but we continue to show that for the friends of friends as well. So it can kick off a whole snowballing effect and affect the lives of people that you haven't even met yet. And altogether we can measure down to the kilogram how much CO2 gets avoided from the atmosphere because of a movement that can be traced back to your initial spark. Klima is now 1 year old, quite exactly. We celebrate our birthday this week. So far, our community has taken out an equivalent of 100,000 barrels of raw oil out of the climate equation. And that just goes to prove my initial statement that individual climate action can be extremely powerful if we manage to organize it and scale it. And that metric, that impact metric, how can we take the most CO2 out of the atmosphere as quickly as possible, guides every decision at Klima, whether that's the product decision or whether that's the decision on how we spend our money. How can we take as much CO2 out of the atmosphere as quickly as possible, both individually and collectively? So let's look at our business model and how we do spend the money. 70% goes immediately into your personal offset. That means making sure that trees are planted, solar power panels are introduced, et cetera, to take your emissions out of the atmosphere immediately today. But if we stopped here, we would fail to address a systemic and crucial systemic part of the climate crisis, which means that nobody can solve this for themselves. There is no island solution. Individual climate action only makes sense if we're part of a larger collective. And that's why we commit to always spend 20% of what we make towards growing the community and thereby growing that impact. Every dollar we spend here has a 6 times climate impact in the long run. And the remaining 10% goes to keeping the lights on and keeping developing Klima. And we make it a case to be very transparent about the way that we use the money and about all parts of our operation, as I think that's core to every climate action. Ultimately, Klima is an app for a new generation. Generation Climate Clean. A generation for whom a climate subscription is quickly becoming just as crucial to their personal lives as their Netflix or Spotify subscription because it defines who they are. And I'm very excited today to share with you what we're rolling out next. We have gotten so many requests from companies, even though we are clearly a B2C company, that we have decided to bring Klima to teams as well. We allow companies and employers to offer Klima as an employee perk towards the entire workforce, the same way they do today already with fitness subscriptions or the like. This is a very powerful way for you to extend your already existing ESG efforts towards something that is experienceable by your workforce, towards something that creates a common denominator, unites your team behind a common cause, and attracts purpose-driven talent. It is, of course, something that can send a very strong signal towards your stakeholders, whether that's investors or customers, but it's also something ultimately that provides a best-in-class user experience to your team as well, because Klima is right now the #1 app for carbon neutrality on the App Store. So if you want to join Generation Climate Clean, you can find us at klima.com or hit me up here at NOAH at any time. We're launching Klima Teams on April 1st at the beginning of Earth Month next year. Thank you very much.